Guess what? This is going to be a weird one. Chris is going to be on the intro here. Hey, Austin's not with us right now, so welcome to the show, everybody. But we have a really cool, like I said, a tease it major announcement, courtesy of Ron Toltvar from ERRT Radio.
RT Radio.
He messaged me last night. He is now our title sponsor. So Three Beers Podcast is now brought to you by, we're not only rebroadcast, we're now brought to you by ERT Radio, courtesy of Ron. So like I said, we're really looking forward to that. Our guest was tonight was unfortunately had to reschedule. So what we're going to do is this is just going to be kind of we're talking about our new sponsor coming up, plus things that we're looking to do here in the couple coming up in the future. Plus, we're going to talk about current events. And just as a quick tease before I come here, ready? Like he's going to be on the show. All right. So he's coming. Mark Eddy's going to be coming up. So for anybody that didn't see it, there he is. All right. We're going to come. So we're going to be right back. Everybody sit back and enjoy the fun. And we'll see you on the other side. Welcome to the Three Beards Podcast. My name is Craig, along with Austin and Chris.
Passed to a new generation of Americans born in this century.
Let me out.
I'm afraid that is right. Justice and honor in Massachusetts colony?
All right, we're back. Yeah, like I said, I'm not sure what happened to Austin. He's not here yet. So once again, APB is still out on Austin. So look somewhere in the Central Florida area and check your blind spots, check your rearview mirror, check your front mirror, and just look outside the windshield. I mean, if you see him, it's
Maybe
I don't want to say.
Maybe he's.
I'm not gonna be like Oklahoma. If you just brag him, just bring him in. We're not sure where he's at. I mean, he doesn't have to be completely unharmed. Just bring him in. Just track him. If you've ever seen like old school, that tranquilizer dart, more power to you. Just drag it. Just bring him in. Just right in the neck. Drag, throw a net on him, drag him in, and then we can tag him. That way we can track his movements. So, so real quick, just while we're doing this, let's bring on Mark Eddy, the man, the myth, the legend, secret agent booking man, the guy we teased. How are you, sir?
Oh, fine. Yeah, at least my guest didn't have to get rescheduled for tonight, so I don't feel so badly about it.
Yeah, no, hopefully she's doing okay. She, medical emergency, so she had to, so we'll hopefully get that rescheduled here. So, but yeah, everybody, let's say in the chat room for those listening, we got M.A. Allen, Julianne, what's going on? Country Boy Cryptids, good evening to you. Joanne, hey, checking in from the frigid northern territories up there in Canada. Yeah, so hopefully everybody's staying warm. I guess next week we're gonna have they're calling for possible record cold for Christmas. That cold that we haven't seen for decades is what I've heard in some places. So
what's Greta gonna have to say about the global warming in Florida then?
Nothing, because the power will be out. It'll be quiet. I don't know. It's one of those. It's amazing when it doesn't fit the narrative. You don't hear a thing. I go when it fits the thing, you hear it all the time. I go it's that I guess the inconvenience of the current events. I don't know what it's like, kind of a play on that one. So, Harlan, hello. How are you? No snow, but 24 degrees. So, that's 24 centimeters. It's that's for anybody that's and I think Chris is muted. I think you muted yourself. There he is. And he's frozen.
Florida is not participating in winter.
No, we were
We are not.
78, 79 degrees today. So it was
That's very
No
comfortable.
winter here.
yeah, it was thing. But yeah, so for the people just tuning in, like I said, that didn't hear, I said we have a new sponsor. Ron Tolbar, he reached out to me last night and he became the title sponsor. And so we are brought to you by ERRT Radio now. So we'll be posting that on our page and a few other things, kind of giving you the lineup of shows to listen to. You can go to YouTube, to his channel, ERRT Radio on YouTube. Subscribe there. Also go to mixler.com/ERRT Radio. And what that will do is that'll take you to the shows and you can listen to all these shows. So
Ron has a lot of connections to one of the leading UFO themed shows, KGRA.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and a lot of after KGRA wraps up for the day, a lot of people go over and listen to Ron's show, and he's had some of the hosts on his network. I thought Mark D'Antonio was really very knowledgeable about astronomy.
And that's
he explains, at this time of the year, what constellation, Orion's out at this time. Look to the south, or so. I've been really amazed with his knowledge of what is visible at what time of the night, the season, where to look for, where the Gemini meteor showers coming from. Really a top expert in his field.
Yeah, and Brian, you missed it. They just got sponsored by a condom company. Yeah, which is in partnership with Dildo Palace. All right, you got to. God. Yeah, it's. Oh my God, yeah, it's one of those. We've been looking for a sponsor for a while now, so this has been really nice that we are finally able to get Ron. He was. So I said I was just surprised. He thought this would make a really good. We got somebody. Yeah, I was gonna say we got somebody in the background there. Yeah, Latex Luxuries. We're brought to you by Latex Luxuries and Dildo Palace. Yes. Chris will be modeling the latest thing, on the next episode. I said that just because he was muted and he couldn't respond.
No, we asked him how the 6-inch dildo worked.
What the double-edged dildo? If this isn't the thing, this is an NSFW show, by the way. Don't let your kids watch. All right. Yeah. So, no, we'll just get to talk a little bit about this, but then everybody, Michael, thanks for tuning in as well. It's nice seeing you. It's been a little while. Tom, welcome to the show. We're going to be talking. We were just covering a little bit the exciting news of we finally picked up a title sponsor, ERRT Radio. So we'll in the next couple of days we're going to be throwing a lot of stuff out there, trying to get his numbers start climbing, ours that go the same thing. So hopefully everything works out really well there. But we're also going to kind of kick off. I brought Mark in on this one too. We're going to kind of cover some current events, the stuff that's going on. We've had, there's a lot of stuff going on in the last few days. We got 2 shows the end of this month, so we still have one next week. But then we have also Ryan Trimbley. He's back. We're gonna be talking all things Godzilla. We're gonna be talking about the Godzilla movies. So it's oh no, there goes Tokyo. Godzilla. Oh, yeah. So that'll be a lot of fun. So we're gonna before that we're gonna touch on all things kind of UFO conspiracy and stuff. So that's gonna be a lot of fun as well. So on the show prior to that, so I'm really looking forward to that's Roderick Martin, I think was the name. It was the name I was failing on. So I think it's right? Roderick Martin, or is it Martin Roderick?
Roderick Martin.
Roderick Martin. See, everybody. Yeah.
That's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, it is. I think it's gonna be a good way to end the year, and then we got the boys all back on the 4th, and then January 11th is up in the air. I'm still waiting on the man here and the mysterious one who's not here to determine. So
it's still wanted. So you all ask us what you would like to see, and I can try to make that happen. Because Craig is going to be enjoying the high seas with a cocktail.
And speaking of there's a sponsor right there, ERRT Radio. What's going on, Ron? So yeah, there's plenty. We'll get the full list of the lineup and stuff. So yeah, that's we've talked several times in the shows. I like to get it from both sides and kind of see where things overlap. So I really it's almost like 2 extremes. I go to the Huffington Post and I go Drudge Report, or the 2, where it's like I get, because they kind of seem to be, across the board. For me is where a lot of times I get the just the aggregate headlines, and I just click through and I see, what's interesting to me. But it's, a lot of things, going on. I mean, we don't really talk politics on the show. I mean, so I don't know how much of the actual political side we're going to get into. I mean, we can kind of do this as a poll. Everybody comment down there. How excited are you for a potential Biden versus Trump redo? I mean, let's see a show of hands. How many's excited about that? 350 million people in this country, and those are the 2 that we got to choose from. I mean, yeah, it's like there's got to be better, better choices. But like I said, it's not for us to decide who you should or should not support. That's just yeah.
But
no, I'm not, Alan. I'm not talking about the shows I watch. I'm just talking about like aggregate news site that just that just vomits up headlines. Those are the 2 that I usually check out.
But Craig, I was watching. I was eating dinner with my parents. There was a news story that came on about a minister by you that allegedly embezzled millions of dollars from his church. Did you hear?
To buy a mansion by us. He tried to buy a mansion by us. He, with the PPP loan, he got millions. And he tried to buy
$8 million, I think.
Oof. That sounds like that HOA too that embezzled all that money.
What? This might be the minister calling me now.
Trying to spend it.
Let me tell
hang on
you,
a second.
that was for the ministry. That was not for my personal gain.
He didn't even have a ministry, though. It was a front that he had 484 employees. And it come to find out he really had no employees. It was a front. And he tried to buy a $3.5 million mansion in the Four Seasons out by Disney. So now he court today, federal court, whatever. And so basically he pulls, one of them don't speak no English. No. One is being sent out for a psych eval because the judge asked him, do you know where you are? And no questions. Nada. The father was like, oh, I can't come to court today because I'm having medical complications. I'm sure you tried to embezzle money and they caught you. So I'm sure you have all kind of medical problems.
Yeah, you've got Tom
So
right
that's
there.
to be determined.
Yeah, is that Deacon not worth your Red Lobster money, your Gucci money? Am I not worth the $3.5 million house? I'm telling you, dig
they
deep.
got more than
You
Red
need
Lobster
to help
and
the
Gucci
Lord.
money from PPP.
Yeah.
Well,
sorry about the interruption.
No, you're good.
He said he had several employees that he needed to pay.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can't expect him to come up with the next sermon in a 10 by 12 pool. I mean, that is just not worth the time of communing with God. If you were to do this, you need to have a palatial Olympic-sized pool. That way you can take in all of the splendor and glory of the Lord inside my pool with my jacuzzi. That is the only way.
It is a way to work in a baptism.
Yeah. What, you could baptize a whole town probably in the pool that was the backside of that house. God.
But it's just really amazing with that story, and you get the Freed guy with the Ponzi scheme, the alleged Ponzi scheme going on.
Are you talking about the crypto Enron?
Whatever.
Yeah, the Enron, the crypto version of Enron.
Yeah, it's just all this fraud that goes on. It's just really
Sam Bankman-Fried, but I think they pronounce it Freed.
Yeah,
but, yes.
It's just people just do whatever they want. Is there really going to be any consequences, since supposedly so many of the donations went to politicians? Are they going to bail them out at the last minute?
Not an 83 Honda, that's for sure, Sir Brian. It has to be a modern car. We're not driving any of those K car crap. I said, yeah.
He said WWJD. No,
yeah, what would
Jesus
Jesus drive?
A Maserati or a Rolls Royce. He's got the Rolls Royce with the thing that pops up out the hood, like.
Yeah, it's there. It's like I said. We'll get to that here in a second here about the crypto thing. That one is actually, you know what? Well, why don't we actually just jump to that? I had one. I'll bring it up too, just to tease you. We're going to be talking about Virginia town that's going up in arms over the after-school Satan club. Yes. So just talk amongst yourselves on that one as we get to this. We'll start you off with that topic. Satan club after school. Discuss. Yeah, that's an interesting one. Okay, so for anybody that isn't up to the times with the BTX, I think not BTX, FTX thing that's going on. Basically, what it's looking like is that this was, whether you want to call it a pyramid scheme, a Ponzi scheme, kind of like Enron, but this looks like this was a straight, almost a money laundering program for high-level Democrat politicians,
Yeah.
organizations, that they were taking basically yours, ours, anybody that invested this, they were taking this money and they were just straight funneling it into this thing, and it was just basically bringing it in as this was one of those, there was no basis. This thing was just skyrocketing. And everybody, especially with this crypto thing, it's one of the craziest parts because there's no basis in reality. It's just literally, as long as people are buying, it goes up. As soon as people freak out, craters. Because there's no tangible, physical.
I missed getting in on that one. I don't know where I was. I could have invested a couple $100 and cashed out like a bandit. I mean,
oh, you wouldn't have cashed out. You wouldn't have cashed out because it was, like I said, this as fast as this showed up, it disappeared.
I mean, I wouldn't leave
Because
my money in there too long, anyways.
Well,
so-
the problem is you couldn't take your money out. That's the problem. Once it cratered,
so you
nobody's buying it.
stole the
You can't.
money.
You can't. Well, that's exactly what it is because you can't sell it. That's the problem with crypto, is you have to have somebody that's willing to buy it, and if nobody buys it, you can't offload it. And as these cryptocurrency exchanges were failing, there's no way to offload your crypto. Nobody can buy it. Nobody's able to buy it, and so these people, it went from beat up here. This hedge fund was literally propping it up, and this is where this thing just, and Tom just put his mom was a high-level campaign organizer that for donations for the DNC. They literally were their hands are all over it. Several Democrat politicians have returned the money, just trying to, get themselves away. I think Beto was one of them. He returned the money from this, but this is something that was just absolutely crazy because this kind of shows just how easily people can just fall for. It's like a feeding frenzy. It's like, oh my God, this is amazing. Take it, because you had Tom Brady and his wife, that were part of it. I mean, you had these celebrities that were, that were promoting it, and it wasn't that they were in. I don't believe they were in on it. I don't think they were part of this, this problem. I think it was just one of those. They're like, yeah, I mean, this looks cool. Okay, I'll put my name on it. And now, it's just a bright side. But
So
that's one of the things too. It's like, no, go ahead, Chris.
So let me ask you a question in your personal opinion. Should people be punished for the fuck around and find out or your stupidity? If I sell you a dream and you buy the dream, I mean, I'm just a high-level con man. Should that person be charged? If I tell you I can make a donkey fly, if I tell you, hey, Craig, I'll make a donkey fly, invest $50 million into my campaign of making a donkey fly, and you believe a donkey can fly, and you put money into my campaign, and I give you the lube job with no Vaseline, is that my fault or your fault? I mean, it's
your fault for not doing your due diligence, but it's also legally, it's like you sold something that, that you were scamming them. I mean, it's the same way, like just because you get that email, I can write up an email right now saying I'm a Nigerian prince. I need you to send me $10,000 so I can unlock the $25 million I have sitting here for you. I'm going to get arrested.
I mean, stupidness. I mean, I don't take sympathy for stupidness. I mean, if you tell me you can do this and I believe you and I give you a whole lot of money, why should that be your problem? Why should you go to jail for selling a dream? I mean, I don't believe that person should go to jail.
Well, it's false advertising.
Yeah, it's basically it doesn't matter what you do. It's like if I tell you this Ricola thing right here, and I repackage it and I tell you this is a cure for cancer, and I need funding, and everybody buys this, and all I'm doing is just taking Ricola things. Ricola is not endorsing this statement in any way. The words and opinions of this podcast do not reflect EERT Radio nor Ricola. So anyway, we're going to use it. We're going to use those drops as examples. So let's just say I claim that those cure cancer, and I package them as cancer cure pills, and everybody buys them. I'm going to jail.
Because I mean, that's a little different.
Wait,
well, no, it's
there has
to be some
truth in advertising
you have to. I mean, if we're telling them, everybody go check this out, there's this radio station and it doesn't exist, we just made it up. One, your credibility is going to go to crap. And two, it's just, that's the thing is a lot of people buy stuff a lot of times on faith, and once that's found out that you basically lied the whole time. I mean, her name's failing me. Maybe the chat room can help me out with it. She was just convicted out of California. It was that one where she said she could. She came up with a system where I want to say it was something like you could help diagnose stuff through the blood. Well, it ended up being a complete sham. I mean, she didn't have any of the stuff, and it was just, so like I said, I believe she was just convicted, or it's at trial. I can't remember what's. So help me out with that, because I'm failing on that point very badly.
I forget her name.
Yeah. It's one of those things. Yes, there is personal responsibility. I mean, if somebody walks up to you and says, "I have," Alan just said that. If I hand you a bottle of snake oil and I say this is going to cure everything, one, you should be real leery of doing it. But two, there should be some, there has to be some responsibility for, to hold the person that's selling the stuff. And that's, I don't know. I mean, Brian brings up a good point. I mean, in the same way, kind of going with Chris, in a way. Oh, I'm going to get in trouble for this statement. Oh, I'm going to get in trouble for this. In a way, isn't that kind of what happens in religion? You got to put money in the tithe plate, so that way, I can, so that way you can be saved. Nobody knows that for sure. We're trusting a book. We're trusting what we've been raised to know, but nobody knows this for sure. There's no 100% chance that this is correct. I go, so no way. I apologize. And Ron just wants his money back.
You're going to stay away from that one. You're not going to touch on that one. You're not going to dabble in that one. But, I mean, I'm just saying, though. I mean, there's a lot where, what they say is a fool and his money is easily parted. So
exactly.
if I could sell you a dream and you invest, that shouldn't be my problem, boss. I'm just saying, hey.
Yeah, it's just a shared one. I mean, yeah, that one was a little rough. Yeah, it's all right. So on that note, let's get back to Hail Satan. Yeah, it's so all right.
So what was that story? Yeah,
sorry,
we'll go over to the other side. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, this comes out of thespectator.com. So this is Chesapeake, Virginia. That's the school. School now has the Satanists are trying to do an after-school program. So here's basically the question for everybody: is one, okay, freedom of speech. You got just as there. Realistically, there needs to be just as much of an opportunity for somebody like this as somebody that's another religious organization. Whether, I mean, I'm not equating the Satanists with Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts, but I mean, they use school. They use school. Yes, they use school facilities all the time. Oh, Ron, you're in for some fun, sir. Yeah. So, kind of that thing.
Satanism is compared. So they're using.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's just all it is it's a Satanist group that wants to have an after-school program to tell kids about, Satan and what it's like to be a Satanist. So, does this?
I wonder if they're going to have cheap rates, because that might be a cheap daycare.
Yeah. So, well, yeah, that's the thing. That kind of breaks the thing. Is when you think about it, like church facilities, churches use them. Like I said, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, they use the gym. There's all these organizations. Whether I said you can go down the line. There's all these ones, but yet you have Satanists can't use it. And people freak out. Well, I get it. Satanists, we don't. Girl Scouts cookies are selling you cookies. Satanists, everybody's got in their mind they're getting ready to sacrifice a goat. They're on the bleachers. That's not something that people are wanting to, people are excited about. But it's like where do you draw the line on who's allowed and who's not?
Yeah,
I mean,
and I have to wonder, why would the administration approve that? What goal do they agree with the group that this is something really good for the community?
yeah. Well,
I think really, some of the adults have to step up and say, this is.
You roll a 20, the chicken dies. I'm just telling you.
This is crossing the line.
Yeah, well, I mean, you've got realistic. I mean, a lot of these places, what they do, it's for the shock factor. You're getting your name out in the paper. I mean, that's realistically what they're doing. Is they're just trying to get their name, to just for the shock factor to get people to like what we're doing right now. We're talking about it. That's what really what the purpose is. I mean, do they really feel like they're going to convert all these students at the student population into, Satanists, and now we're going to have a hellfire club of Satanists, at the school? No, it's.
I mean, because
you might get the one weird kid that just sits there, that'll join.
I don't know. Maybe they might get a lot, and they're hoping to get a lot because they say at the youth age, youth are very easily persuaded. So if they can persuade the youth that the devil is the way to go, then maybe they might have a huge following in school with a whole group of weird kids that sit in the corner and play hack and sack and do stupid shit during lunch. You're like, dude, those are the weirdos. We don't hang with the weirdos.
Well, you think about it. It's like, what's worse, the guys that say, all the people that go to these things that profess to, be followers of Satan, or the priests that are, touching kids. What's worse?
I mean, you got a point there.
One's considered a thing that we go to every Sunday, and the other one is one like, whoa, they freak out about. I go, I am all about provocative statements tonight, folks. I don't know what is going on. There must have been something in this coffee.
I mean,
drug test that man.
So are they filing lawsuits to try to get in there? Because I'm sure no school is going to allow them in there.
Well, that's the thing. And so they're going, like that article is they were going in front of the town, in the school board, to the thing. And there's people on both sides, the ones that were adamant against it and the ones that for. And so that was just basically, like I was bringing up is, for those things, like really like in the chat, it's like, what do you think? What are your feelings, about it? And that's perhaps a coffee sanctified by a holy priest. I don't know. There's something's going on. All right. So,
do the administrators really know what they're doing? If they're giving their approval of something like this, or even the lawyers who get involved in suing, saying this is an organized religion, but hey, you can't have your Christmas decoration and that putting that Christmas tree up. That's a violation of everyone who's not a Christian's rights. They're being bombarded with another religion.
Yeah, and Sir Brian, he brings up thing too. What is the difference? What is the difference between a Satan club and a rap club? Why are parents okay with WAP, blasting, but they have a problem with the devil? I mean, it's the same, same thing. They're okay with one, but they're dead set against the other. I mean, that was kind of the provocative thing, is what, where you have there. And then kind of to keep going here, do you know that the Hamburglar exists?
Craig, you say you were on the road of provocative statements tonight. I can't believe you just posted WAP on the thing. WAP has a whole nother meaning. I mean,
well, that's what it is.
WAP has a whole nother.
Wet. Yeah. I know what it means. I'm not ignorant. I know what Cardi B was talking about. So, yeah.
Brought to you by Dillo Palace, where we give you
Yeah,
that
yeah,
wow.
exactly. Oh my God, Alan.
But really, the situation with the Satanic Club being held after school, you can't, have a Christmas tree in front of the county courthouse. It's just the same thing as the mostly peaceful protests in Portland, but you can't demonstrate express your opinion that the 2020 election was rigged.
Oh yeah.
So
Tom, I don't think that was Samuel L. Jackson either.
Yeah, it's really it creates a situation where it's like everything it's either one or the other. There's really weakening the country, but is that part of the psyop of such events that gets picked up in the media and amplified, and everyone starts talking about it, and you get the people who get really become very vocal, supporting one side or the other.
Yeah,
That's a good question.
No, I just wonder, is all this stuff just really being funded by people outside of America who want the last bastion of freedom, America, to implode?
Yeah, this was at 101st East 170th Street in Mount Eden is where this one in the Bronx. Knife-wielding hamburglar robs nuggets burgers from the Bronx McDonald's.
Man,
he took 24 chicken nuggets and double cheeseburgers from the Bronx McDonald's. Nobody was hurt, but the reason why I bring this up, not just because it's it's just a crazy story, but it's one of those, as we're getting to this part between inflation and the cost of living and stuff right here, at this point, just as a thing, it's like, just in general, as a society, McDonald's is going to throw away more food in a day. This McDonald's will throw away more food than this man stole. So
man.
So where, so why don't, when somebody comes like this, obviously the man's hungry. I mean, he's either high as hell, and he just robbed a McDonald's for chicken nuggets and 2 burgers, or, he's starving and, needs food. So, I mean, what people's lives are not worth some chicken nuggets.
Man, no, I'm gonna tell you what happened, man. I'm gonna tell you honestly what happened. He seen them prices and he said, "The hell with that shit. I'm from Florida. I'm from Florida. You talking about $30 for some chicken nuggets?" He said, "Man, give me them chicken nuggets, man."
Yeah,
would you give me them chicken nuggets, man?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it just shows that he robbed them and took. I don't think there's any other pictures. I think just you get the random ads now. Yeah, so that's there's our governor right there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so and that's one of those things. It just so kind of like that in that for the chat amongst yourself, throw the stuff in the comments there. In those instances, I mean, don't you feel like as a thing, it's just better to give them the nuggets, give them a burger, and just instead of putting people's lives at risk. I mean, Tom put up there, we didn't have Akeem, to grab the mop handle and just take him out like Samuel L. Jackson.
You're nuts.
You know, I said, is stealing correct? You know, is robbing, you know, the right thing? No, absolutely not. But it's one of those, just think somebody's working there, some, you know, mom, dad, you know, brothers, you know, you name it, is working there just for the money and could potentially have been in the hospital over chicken nuggets.
Man, I
You know,
don't know.
because you see that picture where he's back there on the food line. It's like at no point should it ever come to that point. It'd just be like, dude, here, take the thing. You know, the guy in drive-through can wait another 5 minutes as we remake his Big Mac. Just take the bag. I mean, it's not, you know, there's got to be something. Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing, you know, we put people's lives at risk, and that's, you know, just like Emmanuel said, you know, so, I mean, what do you do? I mean, that's the,
But he's not going to be charged anyways. Yeah. How many high-profile criminal cases have crimes have happened recently, and a person's just let out of jail, and it becomes a high-profile case because people are like being assaulted. There it is on videotape. Yeah, no problem. Just we aren't going to do anything about it. And that's where you get all these other people talking about the Soros-funded prosecutors.
yeah.
Or DAs. I'm sorry.
Mhm. No,
I mean, the justice system is a joke. To piggyback off of what you're talking about, there is a guy, actually, we're looking for right now in Orange County, Florida. He did 20 years, but his initial charge in the 80s was kidnapping, rape, and attempted murder. Those were the 3 charges he had. They failed to give him life. So now he just got released from prison maybe a month ago. He's back at it again. He was on our famous highway, OBT. He picked up a young lady. She got in the car.
there are some meth hookers on that, by the way, just so you know.
Yeah, but
Meth hookers.
amazingly though, Craig, that road is known all around the world. That is the prostitution alley of Florida. But anyways,
you bailed me out, because there was, like, I was gonna say, I don't know that from experience. I just know that from I was driving through, and
oh no, it's, if you Google it right now, OBT is known as the prostitution capital of Florida. So, anyways, he picks her up willingly. He takes her to Pine Hills, ironically. So now he tells her to get out the car. He stabs her, but he doesn't kill her. She manages to fight him off, and now they're looking for him. But there's no reason why he should have been on the streets. He had armed kidnapping, attempted murder, and sexual battery. Did they think that 20 years in prison cured this guy? No, I don't think so. I mean,
yeah, I don't know. It's just, it's crazy. I mean, just all the, we're kind of get on the thing too, and that's, Alan's bringing it up, and that's part of the problem with the prison system is it's a private business. It's a business. And when people talk about, the disparity, poor people or rich people, well, the problem is when you're wealthy, you can fight more, you can get out. It's easier to get out. Poor people, it's easier to jam them up with the charge. They get stuck. They're in the prison system. Well, here's what happens. Just like you said, when you're potentially getting like $90,000 a year per inmate, you want that place packed.
Yeah,
you're making a ton of money. I mean, you're paying one, that's one inmate that's bringing in. And when you think about how much money, that's a massive, you basically are cash for soul business. I mean, you're just basically just buying bodies to throw them in a cell.
Yeah, well, correct. And MA just mentioned, like, where's all that money going? Well, yeah, we can look at the second or what do you call the Georgia election from last week. How many is what, like $100 million were spent on the second election between Warnock and Walker? Like, where's all that money coming from? You had two elections, and it just didn't work out right the first. Someone didn't get at least 50% of the vote, so you spend like another $100 million.
Yeah, that's Georgia's.
What's that, like $200 million? Approaching
it's
a
probably
$250 million, and maybe people who are having a rough time, close to going bankrupt because of medical bills or something like that. Isn't there a better way to spend money on
you'd
people
think.
instead of a few of the bicoastal elites who have all this money that they could spend to ensure that the ideology survives?
Oh yeah, I mean, when you think about it, I want to say the Senate's like $225 a year, like $225,000 a year, or something like that is what they get paid. And so you think you spend $1.5 million at least to get elected. You obviously something's up. That there is money, and so it's one of those things that we absolutely could definitely take a look at is what's being spent for these things. But I want to get more provocative here. We're getting a little too tame.
Okay.
Why don't you just get naked?
Well, it's funny you say that.
He probably
the cost
has no
of living
pants on.
crisis is ruining the sex lives.
Cost of living is ruining sex lives.
So this is an article at Vice.com. So
it's coming down.
Yeah, comment below. Is like, has the current rise in the cost of living has it affected your sex life?
I'm sure it is, because they're not giving no booty. You're hungry.
Well, you think about it, you're hungry, but if you're cold, like you're having problems paying your heating bills, wouldn't that help keep you warm?
But what I'm saying is she's not giving up any booty if she's hungry. So if you can't feed her, I don't know what to tell you. You ain't getting no booty.
Yeah. It's funny that I said that our porn is ruining sex lives. I actually think that is actually a bigger thing than most people are willing to admit. And it's fun. There's also one thing too, that there's an article in there. Porn addiction is skyrocketing.
I mean,
it's so you have these things. I mean, I can see it. I mean, because it's like a lot of people, especially like young kids, you basically have this unrealistic, idea of what it's supposed to be like. And you want to talk about how, when you actually go in the real world, it would be a massive letdown if what you're expecting is what you just watched, on OnlyFans and Pornhub and all that stuff. And then you actually get into the real world, you'd just be like, oh, I was thinking it was, and you're like, no, it's not that way. You don't show up with a pizza and all of a sudden 4 women are like, oh, he's here. And then you have a great, that's not how that works. That's not real life. It doesn't. And so, yeah,
I mean, I don't know what kind of things you've done in Oregon, but I am not going to incriminate myself. You show up with a bottle and a pizza, and something's about to go down. I mean, that's before I got this, So, I mean, I'm just saying on how things work in Central Florida. You got a bottle, you got some food, and it's going to be a good old night. Netflix and chill.
It sounds like some people need some standards. All you got to do is show up with a pizza and a bottle.
Pizza and a bottle. And nobody's going to, and you try to buy the cheapest stuff you can buy so nobody remembers what happens.
Oh my God! Showing up with MD 2020.
MD 2020.
MD 2020 and you're a day old Little Caesars pizza. That's the best you could do.
Or EJ.
And you're wondering why the only action you're getting is on OBT.
Are you getting some EJ Irk and Jerk? It's called Irk and Jerk for a reason.
Isn't Florida more like meth and chill? Yeah.
So you set up the little table so you're safe. You got some Narcan. You got some other stuff. No.
Oh my God.
No.
Mark's really regretting coming on, aren't you?
No, seriously. Did you see?
I'm learning stuff. I'm not. I just learning some different geography stuff, and just getting caught up on what younger people are doing.
Yeah.
I mean, so did you see the matter of fact? On a serious note, did you see the deputy who they Narcaned her 4 times? She touched some fentanyl.
Oh,
and the officer was standing behind her. They had to Narcan her like 3 times. And I was just seeing a report the other day that they have, I think junkies are really trying to kill themselves. They have Narcan resistant fentanyl. Why would you create something Narcan resistant? Are you really trying to lower the population? Man, I got this stuff. It's Narcan resistance. Yeah, I mean,
see, Chris, that's what I'm talking about. Why all of a sudden is that fentanyl showing up all across the country? We know the supply chain, how it gets from China to Mexico and coming over here. People can get basically die by absorbing it through their fingertips.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
And nothing is being done about it. You get cops, seizing it when it's discovered. But is that more of this just deliberate destruction of America? Then, who's behind that?
Possibly so, because I remember when the news first introduced it, you could literally go on Amazon and buy it from China, or it's one of these knockoff China sites, because it was sold as some. What happened?
He's like, Florida's always been the gateway to major drugs, fentanyl, salts, meth, frog licking. Oh, I'm just picking everybody. He's like, no, that's the wrong one. Ah, that one's nasty.
That one's nasty.
It pooped on my tongue.
It pooped on my tongue. He said it pooped on my tongue.
Yeah, that's oh God, frog licking. Oh my God.
Well, yeah. Oh
who
no,
discovered that?
He forgot one.
It was in Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, who was the first one? You got to wonder, just who discovered that? I mean, were they just handling frogs and all of a sudden like rub their mouth or something like that, and all of a sudden like, ooh, I feel good. I mean, who figured out that if you lick a toad, that all of a sudden you're going to start seeing the walls peel? I mean, who figured that out?
So the princess went from kissing toads to now we're licking toads.
Yeah. Yeah, there's basically it's a hallucinogenic effect, with licking certain frogs.
I'm not licking no slimy frog. Yeah.
Hey, if you want to get high.
But yeah, he was right.
I'm scared to Google this, by the way, frog licking. I'm just saying. I just have a feeling this is not going to give me the results I'm hoping for. Yeah, it's. I'll see if I can figure it. But yeah, there's.
But you also forgot one, Brian Bowden. Flocka. That was some other stuff. Oh, and then K2. Florida had K2 in the prisons, and it was some Arabic incense type thing. It was called K2, and that was supposed to be like a knockoff of marijuana. Now we have Molly. You forgot about Molly. You forgot about all the stuff. I mean,
it's only a certain type of frog, Joanne. It's not ivory frog. So I'm just I'll just
Please
say
don't
that.
go.
there.
Please
Yeah,
don't.
just
Please don't go licking frogs.
Yeah.
And they have words
Don't
on
go
your tongue.
assaulting every frog that's out there, people. We don't you got to get the right frog. It's not just just anything that ribbits was going to do it. No. Yeah, you got to have a certain toad that does it.
Can you imagine licking the wrong frog and you're getting him off and he's like ribbit, and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, you're licking the wrong side. Oh, yeah. I think there's. Yeah, you're sitting there. Once in there one called crocodile. Yeah, I think there was something like that. I mean, we've got down here in Florida. We got meth gators. Yeah, because there's the meth that gets washed down and gets in the water system, and so there's actually some areas where the alligators are all
out.
Yeah, they're literally on meth.
I'd hate to come in contact with a meth gator. I wonder what he'd do.
Ask you for $5.
Hey, you think you got $5?
Yeah. Hey, man, you got $5? I need $5. You're like, that's how you determine it's a meth gator. There's missing teeth, and it wants $5.
You're like, the gator's been looking at me for 5 minutes, and he's been moving his mouth, but he hasn't moved. He's trying to ask your ass for $5. Matter of fact, one of my buddies told me the other day, right? So this is hilarious. He was talking. A homeless guy said, "Hey, yo, man, you got any spare change?" He's like, "Nah, I ain't got no change." He's like, "Well, you got any bills?" My boy was like, "Man, I don't have any bills either." Dude was like, "I take Cash App, I take Venmo, and I take PayPal." My buddy was like, "Yeah, get the fuck out."
We're gonna have to make a post on this one here just after the show. But here's the NPR. They've got this thing with a kind of a PSA. It says, "Stop licking this toad." I'm gonna save this picture. I have to. This is gonna be this one. Have you seen this toad? Stop licking me. Ah, God. So for everybody listening and not watching, just check us out on the social media. You're gonna see that right here. So, yeah, that's.
I don't know if we've seen any meth swamp apes. I mean, maybe there's a meth swamp ape out there. I don't know.
Oh, well, I'm sure if there's meth gators, I'm sure it's like if it's a natural creature, it's going to come in contact with the water, and it's just that's the problem. It's just there's so many people flushing drugs down the toilets and all that stuff, all these opioids. It's like the water table is actually getting contaminated with all these drugs.
Yeah, I've heard of that happening. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Brian. I've got them right outside my door every night. Which one, the meth skunk ape or the toads? And that's, oh my God. Yeah, it's a fantastic. I mean, we're coming down here, we're wrapping it up here soon here. But it's
well,
one.
I'm sure. Well, yeah, we can't stop the show yet. I'm sure there's a couple people you haven't pissed off yet.
Yeah, no, it's give me time. Give me time.
We'll get everybody.
Well, what's that line from School of Rock? I know that in some point, somewhere I have touched all of, you all have touched me, and I know I've touched all of you. That's are you getting off on this, Mark, Carolyn? Yeah, everybody's totally triggered. No, it's good. I mean, it's nice to cut loose and stuff to do these shows every now and then. But yeah,
it needs to be done.
Yes,
some people can't take themselves too seriously.
Well, we got a lot of stuff that's going on in the world right now. It's nice to just get, every now and then just take some time and just like forget a lot of the day-to-day, stuff that comes. And there's just,
they say laughter is a key to depression. So if you're depressed, you just laugh. I mean,
I think you meant the key to fix, helping depression.
Yeah.
Okay. If that's the, laughter is the key to depression. Oh. Yeah. I mean, what did we cover? Yeah, Ellen, let's recap. Let's recap tonight's show. Satan, licking frogs, and hamburglers.
There's people going to prison as well.
Yeah, and
it's not a very Christmassy kind of show, but
I mean,
Yeah,
it's about the truth. So there is a connection to biblical concepts.
yeah, Craig, see if you can find a picture of the guy that they're looking for the rape. He's got a giant tattoo on his head, on his forehead. And they're like, oh, well, he's not going to be hard to spot. This guy's got a permanent Scully on, and he's got to walk around with a hoodie on. I mean, I hope they find this guy soon, though.
Is that the guy that kind of looks like a white dude?
Yeah, he's a white dude with a tattoo on his forehead.
The one that says sacrifice?
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy, he's going to be hard to spot.
Very hard. Very hard. I mean,
if anybody has seen this this choir boy that's hanging around, he's wanted for being an all around amazing citizen of society.
His tattoo looks like a fence. If you glance at it, it looks like a little white picket fence.
Yeah, it says sacrifice. So yeah, he doesn't look like too good of a guy. I mean, what's that? 4 tiers?
Yeah.
So he's a model prisoner too.
Very model prisoner.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
nice.
it's yeah. It was. Oh yeah. Your shows. The last show of the year, Hairline, is going to be incredibly lighthearted. We're going to be talking about Godzilla. Yeah. You said it's going to be lighthearted unless you're Tokyo. You're screwed. Yeah, Tokyo's going down. Yeah. I've got a post for Christmas. It's Godzilla. It says Merry Christmas to everyone except for you, Tokyo. Yeah, so I'll be posting that one as a promo. Yes. No, Brian. No. Oh my God. Save the whales, shoot the manatees. No, not the poor little sea cows. Those things are awesome. Exactly, Melon. Godzilla.
I mean, we failed to talk about Jackson State a little bit. I mean, he's going. We don't talk about football. We need Austin. We need Austin for this one.
Yeah, it's that one's not. I mean, we got World Cup. The final is set. So anybody that's saving it so you can watch, you might want to turn the show off right now or mute it in 3, 2, 1. It is going to be France versus Argentina. So for any World Cup fans out there,
Argentina's going to beat France.
Yeah, so it's if you're watching now, you can unmute it. But if you're listening, hopefully you've figured it out that we might be done by now, or else in your case, the show's over. Yeah, I don't know if anybody's ever said our show is politically correct.
No, not at
ever.
all.
I try not to be too, ever try not to be a dick. I try not to do any of that stuff. I try to be, real even-handed. But it's just there's times where I just like to let down the guard a little bit more and just talk about just random stuff. And it's like, can you imagine the football team for a Meth Gator U?
Matter of fact, I think that should be Gators' new emblem, a Meth Gator.
Meth Gator with missing the teeth.
After we beat them, I mean, we turned it into a Meth Gator.
Yeah, that's the thing. We're never politically correct. No, we're never politically correct. We we try to be even keeled, straight across the board, but we
offend everyone.
Yes.
We skirt every line we can without pissing off the world.
Everybody is equal in our eyes. So if we haven't got to you yet, just wait longer. We'll get to you. Yeah, so everybody. I mean, just want to thank everybody for the star. Emmanuel, he's given us some stars. I'm not sure if I've missed anybody else that has. If I have, I apologize. but really appreciate the stars, guys. That really helps us out as well. And I'm going to put some posts there. So get with, get with the program and I need you to go to the sites and like and subscribe. All right. I need you EROT radio.
I set up Buy Me a Coffee, and everybody knows how much Craig and I love coffee. And I haven't got one cup of coffee yet from Buy Me a Cup of Coffee. I literally eat Starbucks every morning. My bill at Starbucks is $15 a day. So you do the math. Craig be like, dude, you eat Starbucks every day? Yeah, I still have to have Starbucks. And somebody asked me the other day, well, hey, you have a coffee maker at home. Why don't you make coffee? If you know me like Craig knows me, I'm too lazy. I make coffee every once in a while.
Yeah, and for anybody that doesn't know how to, there's a way. When you look right there in the chat, it's going to be down there on the bottom. It's going to show you. There'll be a little place where you can click. It's going to be a picture of a star, and that's how you can give us some stars. ERT Radio, you're already the sponsor, so that's you're already there. Why not put up Chris QR code for PayPal tips? Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I said it's have to say we're not above anything. So it's like.
How did you get a sticker? That's my question.
Oh, I've got one for you. I'm bringing it tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah. Here, take a screenshot.
I can't see it. You're holding it. There we go. ERRT.
Yeah, take a screenshot right now and you get your sticker.
Such an ass. How about I take a picture of this money, and as long as I got it, you won't need it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I've got that one. I've got the sticker and a magnet for you. I'll bring that in tomorrow.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yep. So there's Carolyn, put up here. She got a picture up there for you for a cup of coffee. So that's what it is. So, but no, everybody, it's just through this last year. We just appreciate everybody's support that's been hanging out. Mark, while we're wrapping it up here, what promote Nightlight Radio. And while I'm talking about it, seriously, why have you guys have it in your promo? Why have you not done a show on unicorns?
Barbara has.
Because I don't remember ever listening to that one. So.
I think the guest was Diane Cooper.
Okay, so I just missed that one. I stand corrected. I apologize for casting aspersions upon your characters.
Yep. That was it's somewhere in the archives within the last year. Probably it was done in the last year. 20 probably spring of 2022. I don't think it went to back as late as this time last year. But there was I believe Diane Cooper was the author's name. Forget the title of her book. I think it could be found on Inner Traditions. But it had a great show last night with Ryan Peterson and his The Final Nephilim. Very, very interesting look at the Nephilim, how all these characters in the Old and New Testaments might be just the same person who just kept being in government, gets defeated and takes on a new shape, trying a new tactic to bring corruption to the world, and all will be decided at the Battle of Armageddon.
We're gonna do it like the screensaver.
But
Yeah.
that was last night's show. It was, we concluded it with a good message that the evil will
Mark's
not.
is getting too deep. I need to look at Toad.
Yeah, evil will not triumph. So, it was seasonal. So we had very very interesting discussion last night, and I think we have some good shows. Barbara has some good shows to close out the year, and I'm working on a whole bunch of people to get us off to a good start in the new year.
Greg, I was laughing when you were talking about unicorns. My Little Mermaid, my mermaid episode.
Oh yeah,
I'll never forget that.
the magical mythical creatures.
Craig says, "Oh, we're screwed."
Yeah, that was the first time it popped in my head, that I knew at that point when we were doing this program. For anybody that's never heard that story, that's the moment I knew that Chris hadn't done a damn thing when it came to research. All he had done was watch Little Mermaid. That's it. That's all he knew about mermaids.
Magical, mysterious.
Yeah, he was like, they're magical, mythical creatures, and that was it. That was the extent of his research.
And
his research looked like this, as you can see. That was his extensive research. Yeah, so it's just, once again, it's we have come a long ways, and over 3 years. I mean, things have changed in the beginning. It's pretty good. So I'm definitely a lot more comfortable in the captain's chair than I was when I first started. We still got a long ways to go. And thanks to the sponsorship, we got some cool thing. I want to work on some promos, and so I've got to start working on some ideas for little skits to do to promote ERT Radio. Possibly a throat lozenge for my man there. It's so Ricola. Let's make up for what people's perception is now and come be a sponsor so we can make up for that. Yeah, I use you guys all the time. That's what I said. We'll take you on board. Yeah, what does Chris's wrist tat read? If you feel comfortable sharing.
If you can see it, it's my daughter's name. It says Amaya, so it's kind of faded now. And then I have pray for me, because I really needed prayer back in the day. So I have pray for me right here. I have a lot of tattoos, but thank you for asking. Yeah, it says pray. It says my daughter's name. I've got to get my son's name sometime here soon.
If he moves his arms quick enough, they just kind of look like Chinese characters, and it's probably just says Kung Pao Chicken.
Kung Pao Chicken. Kung Pao Chicken.
He's one of those ones that I want to get faith and family and Chinese characters, and he's going to go there, and everybody's like, "Why do you like Szechuan pork?"
No, the tattoo I really want, guys, is it says that success is rented and rent is always due. I want to put that right here. That's my next tattoo. I just haven't got it done yet.
Yeah, I need to get some more.
But you have one?
Get that one on your back.
I will. I mean, hey, shit, I'm about to put it on my car window eventually.
Yeah.
3 Beers
I got a magnet for you too. So I'm gonna, like I said, you're gonna magnet in the thing, so you'll be able to slap that on there.
That shit's going right on the car. Pow.
Yeah. So we'll do that and stuff. So yeah, everybody, go to ertradio.com. You can check that out. You can go to Mixler. It's mixlr.com/ERRT-radio. And he's got many lineups, everything from Slacker 82. I was on there. Joey and Tanya, Into the Outer Realms is on there, as well as these little known bearded guys that throw a show up every now and then. So, you might run into this bearded show that, you might find interesting and listen to their play. I don't know. I'll have a full list of things, but every morning he has music lineups and several other shows that go on throughout the week. So there's definitely some content that'll be up there. So
I mean, you said something very interesting, Justin. If I'm telling you, everybody, if we get 10,000 followers on YouTube, I will get ERRT Radio tatted somewhere. I'm not saying how big, but we get 10,000 followers on YouTube, I'll get ERT Radio tatted somewhere.
There you go.
Hey, help us get to 10,000.
I don't know. Like I said, and honestly, in that one, and to that, but I think that's like a whole other program. I don't know. Because at the time, I think it was done because culturally, a lot of the pagan religions, that was a huge thing about tattooing and and markings, and it's well known that the church adapted the thing to bring in these pagan rituals, and one of the things that you have to do is you have to break some of those traditions in order to get them to come into the fold. So there is a well-known train of thought that a lot of this stuff was incorporated for just that reason, that it may not be a literal commandment from God that you can't adorn your body with markings. That may have been something that was done because you have to bring in the pagans or else they're not going to convert.
Yes.
So
I agree.
So that's a whole different show.
But it's addictive though. So
yeah.
I mean, it's an addiction. So some people get carried away. I know how to stop the addiction, but I still want some more ink. That little baby tattoo, it's like this big. It's like this big, Kirk.
Everybody can see it.
I have Jesus on my back. So, but it's a little small.
I got that one after, that's a nice elk. I said I had that test. I'm going to need to get I want to get, a few more. I have one. I just have that one.
Just one.
So,
yeah. He's a baby. He's a baby.
Oh yeah, no, that's like I said. No, that's a good topic for that's a good Ron. That's a great topic for discussion. I mean, we'll definitely bring it in because that's one of those. And with our show, there's definitely something for everyone. You're not going to like every show. You're not going to be excited about every topic, but I can guarantee you we're going to touch on something that's going to be interesting to you. So that's why it's cool to just follow us, share us with your friends because. Yeah, well, you may not like this week's topic. Definitely, I bet you the next, somewhere coming up in the next couple of weeks, it's going to be one you're going to love because we kind of cover everything.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, and but everybody, like I said, thank you for watching. Mark, thank you for being on the show again.
I had a lot of fun. I enjoy working with you guys.
Well, we appreciate that. That's and
I'm glad to see so many people returning each week and new people tuning in as well.
And that's so that's one of those. As I really, it's been great. Producer's under the weather, so this is me doing this. So I'm going to be a little sloppy. So check us out on social media. Like, subscribe. Subscribe to ERRT Radio now, sponsor of the program. Subscribe to us while you're there. Go listen to the show, like it, share it, let everybody know about it. It's really, and that's the thing, Carolyn, I appreciate that. That's the goal, is we want to make it entertaining. We want to make it educational. We want to, like tonight, if, hopefully somebody comes away realizing that they could actually get high licking a toad. They didn't know that before. Now they do. Yeah. It's exciting, so somewhere we've changed somebody's life because now it's going to look like their stuffed animals are trying to kill them thanks to licking the toads. So I just know that we've done our part. That's all. Anyway, this show is rebroadcast, sometimes unfortunately, for Ron, on 11 o'clock p.m. at Wednesdays. So last week's show is going to be rebroadcast tonight. And so like I said, it'll be 11 p.m. We're following somewhere after Joey into the Outer Realms, which I think our last one from hybridization, aliens and stuff is going to be on there. So that's going to be a great show. So you guys can go check that one out as too. And just everybody, thank you for the stars. Thank you for the support. Everybody that's, even if you can't afford stars, even if you can't afford to give money, like I said, it's a simple act of liking that button, sharing and subscribing and telling people about it is amazing. It helps us all out. And just, we really appreciate that. Just thank you to, like I said, thank you to everybody. There's many ways you can do it. We also you can go to our page and you can subscribe. as well. Harlan, thank you for the stars. Really appreciate that. So like I said, you can become a subscriber for as little as $1 a month, $1 a month too. That's there. So I mean, there's many ways you can support us, but easily like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. Just
hit that bell, like, share, subscribe.
Yep. And just once you're doing that, same thing, do that for ERT Radio. And like I said, we'll grow these things together. So I just want everybody to thanks again. Harlan, like I said, really appreciate that. I said, everybody go support everyone. If we don't see you next week, Merry Christmas. Hopefully we will see you because we're going to have a show right before Christmas. So we're going to do the same thing. But everybody just have a great night, and we will see you on the next show. Good night. Thank you, Preston.